Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight in our news. Power generation issues on Abaco leave residents in the dark. Church leaders say the Christian Council didn't go far enough during a low point in Parliament. Plus,
a salvage team is finally set to head to Andros more than a week after wreckage was found by local fishermen.
Our news is brought to you by Alive.
Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Jared Higgs. Topping news tonight, no more special treatment. That's according to BPL CEO Whitney Hasty, who says a widely publicized do not disconnect list has come to an end and all arrears paid by the public officials on it. This comes as the CEO revealed a rise in delinquent customers.
So the no disconnect list is a thing of the past. We treat all customers equally, and we will continue to do that. And to date, that's been the norm. It's not been the exception. It's been the norm.
A widely publicized do not disconnect list is no more, according to BPL CEO Whitney Hasty. Back in September, BPL gave politicians and senior government officials 1 week to pay their outstanding bills, with some reported to be as high as $50,000. Among those on the list were current Minister of Agriculture Renward Wells, former Minister of Health Dr. Perry Gomez, former Tall Pines MP Leslie Miller, former Minister of Youth Dr. Danny Johnson, former Nassau Village MP Dion Smith, former Tourism Minister Obi Wilchcombe, former South Beach MP Cleola Hamilton, and the former Minister of State for Legal Affairs Damien Gomez. Hasty says all of their bills have been satisfied.
So everybody to date has honored their commitments to BPL, and so we've had no issues there. We're really not going to play favoritisms on that. And I think if people understand that that standard is being, certainly applied across the board, then they'll understand that there's certainly no favoritism being invoked depending on who you are in the community. We want to be fair to all customers.
Hasty also addressed a rise in delinquent customers, with current figures showing approximately 6,000 delinquent customers. He acknowledged that over the years, the company hasn't been consistent in its disconnection exercises and wants a more standardized approach.
Because there has not been a firm, consistent policy in who gets disconnected, we're trying to make sure, bring that to bear. And so today, right, what I'd like to see is 2 months and maybe $200 or $300. The difficulty I think we have as an entity is the way we're communicating that, the way we're implementing that. Given the fact that we do have a large customer base that we prefer to be on the grid than off the grid.
Hasty says the company's payment plan applies across the board regardless of a customer's status. 2 system failures have residents in Abaco feeling powerless. Island-wide blackouts have been the norm for the past week after newly installed equipment failed on Tuesday. BPL CEO Whitney Hasty tells us what went wrong.
The fault of that was traced to the electrical cable that was connected to the new pumps. The crews worked yesterday. They were able to source cable locally and replace the cables. The pumps were put, one of the pumps were put back in service, and so power was restored about 1 a.m. this morning.
The blackouts come as Abaco residents report 90% tourist occupancy at some resorts. Many of those visitors are said to be frustrated by the lack of power. Hasty says there is no immediate concern, although he acknowledges that there is still a root issue that needs to be solved. He says the next few months will set the tone for summer's power supply.
But outside of generation, once we get the cooling water issues resolved, then it's more towards the transmission and distribution system and the circuits that are supplying the power to residents and homes, businesses. And so that's really where our focus over the next 4 or 5 months is really concentrating, to make sure to firm that up, to make sure that we can deliver the power reliably to businesses and homes.
More than a week after video of a plane wreckage in shallow waters off North Andros surfaced, air accident investigators and the salvage team have yet to examine the site that was discovered by local fishermen. However, North Andros and Barry Islands MP Carlton Boleg says residents will not just sit back and wait for answers. Jasmine Brown reports.
1 week ago, this video went viral. Recorded by local fishermen, it shows plane wreckage from above water. However, there is still no confirmation that the wreckage is from the small plane that crashed off the north coast of Andros last month, killing 6 people. That's because accident investigators have yet to reach the island, despite reports that they were scheduled to arrive there earlier this week. Chief Investigator of the Air Accident Investigation Department, Delvin Major, told our news team that the investigation team is expected to head to Andros sometime this evening. When asked why that team had not yet been dispatched, Major said they were getting everything in order, including securing a salvage ship, which is being contracted from a U.S. firm and is expected to arrive in Andros tomorrow. North Andros MP Carlton Bowleg, who grew up on that island, said residents are anxious.
We're looking to see these guys on the ground very shortly, and I just want to allow them to do what needs to be done so that it can clear up a lot of the questions that we have where we can have answer from it. So as soon as they get there, I'm sure they're going to bring us up to date as to what's going on, and I expect for it to be something that can bring closure.
Despite the slow-moving investigation, Bowleg says residents will not give up, even if that means funding their own private search and recovery efforts.
We're going to do what we can. And I'll tell you what, I look to see 15 years from now, still trying to find answers as to what happens. That's what we still live with right now today, after previous crashes, where we never got the answers that we were looking for. In the early 1990s, we had a plane that went down, and we're still looking to find answers for that. So I'm sure it's going to be the same thing.
On the morning of January 17th, the 6-seater private aircraft departed San Andres Airport and was bound for New Providence when it fell out of the sky over the northeastern part of Andros, killing everyone on board. Investigators revealed that the pilot was operating a commercial flight in breach of his private pilot's license, a practice otherwise known as hacking. They also determined that weather conditions on the morning of the flight required the pilot to rely on the instruments of the twin-engine Piper, a certification he did not possess for that type of plane. During a memorial service on Andros the week after the crash, some relatives said closure is elusive, as they had no remains to bury. Bowleg, who lost loved ones in that crash, says that is still the case today.
You have a lot of questions and you need answers to. And like I say, I'm an Androsian. I was born and raised there. And I'm trying to bring closure also. And maybe one day I can answer the question that my son asks me every night, Daddy, what do you think happened to my uncle? You know, and I can answer that without him crying, and I can't give him an answer. That's the pain that I have to deal with. So you can imagine what the other ones are going through.
Now, Bowleg says no matter what anyone may say or think, those grieving residents deserve the answers they are desperately seeking. Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Thanks, Jasmine. The recent rift in the House of Assembly between the House Speaker and Leader of the Opposition was a low day for Parliament, according to 2 church leaders who feel the Christian Council didn't go far enough to rectify the situation. Christina Dragovich tells us more.
The public back and forth between House Speaker Halston Moultrie and Opposition Leader Philip Davis may be over, and apologies may have been made, but the recent rift in the House of Assembly has left its mark on the clergy. The issue of religion and politics taking center stage on the RTV show On the Record, with host Jerome Sawyer Thursday night, with Reverend T.G. Morrison of Zion Baptist Church weighing in on the controversy.
I think it was a very low day in the doings of Parliament, but also a low day within the doings of Christianity in the Bahamas, exceedingly low day.
Following that war of words, Bahamas Christian Council President Bishop Delton Fernander and several past presidents sought to heal the wounds by meeting separately with the Progressive Liberal Party leader and House Speaker. However, Rector of St. Gregory's Church, Father Sebastian Campbell, says he felt the Christian Council did not go far enough in its efforts.
Presently, I don't know if you realize that we have the highest percentage now of ministers, ordained ministers, licensed ministers in Parliament, more so than we have ever had before, right? Check it. This should have been a new day in the Bahamas. The Christian Council, I think, should have spoken up and been very clear on their understanding. All the Christian Council really did said they'll have a private meeting with the leader of the opposition, have a private meeting with the speaker. But the Christian Council never came down the line and said exactly, this is wrong, this is right.
Meanwhile, Morrison, who admits he is at times hard on the Christian Council, had this to say about the issue.
If we're talking about the process that will lead ultimately to reconciliation, and the biblical witness gives us, you talk to your brother in private. If you ain't get nowhere with your brother in private, then you bring a witness. You ain't get nowhere with the witness, then you bring them to the church. It appears as if the route of talking in private produced fruit that ultimately led to an apology.
Morrison added that the Christian Council could say more. However, even in that organization, there is politics. Reporting for our news, I'm Christina Dragovich.
It's another Fit Friday. Today, our Kyle Joaquin endured the pain with rain pain during another intense workout. Take a look.
Our location, Better Bodies Gym along Shirley Street. Our mission, to get in a total body workout. Our trainer, the pain master himself, Ryan Payne.
Does the pain in Ryan stand for anything?
Just regular pain. It ain't as bad as people make it the same. It ain't like I can torture you or make you cry or...
I never heard about good pain, but...
Pain is love, so pain still could be a good thing.
Sure. I could tell the road ahead was gonna be quite a long one.
Today we're gonna do a full body workout. Just imagine you come in the gym and the gym is full. You have one bench, you just need some space to do something nice and quick, but still get a nice pump. So target legs, shoulders, chest, abs, back, and do a little bit of hit cardio with it as well.
And apparently my t-shirt wasn't the right look for the workout, so I was gifted with my very own Ryan Payne workout gear.
Ryan Payne Fitness, a little medium so you can make sure I see those gains.
Yeah.
And a little tracker.
What?
A little fitness tracker to monitor.
All right, so I guess this means I'm going to do some pain just for this today then.
Just for this.
Before I got into it, there was a demonstration.
Feet shoulder width apart. Sit. Flip. Press. Stand up. 1. Sit. Flip. Press.
It's lightweight though.
This is 20 pounds. It's lightweight. Yeah, lightweight. That's the first movement. When you finish with that one, you have 10 of those. You sit back. Chest press.
No break.
No break.
Okay. 10 of those?
15 of those.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's chest, shoulders, legs, and your back. So we're going to do a bend on the rope. Bend. Fly back. 1, 2.
Follow those with 20 crunches and 30 jumping jacks, and that would be round 1. So I figured it should be a breeze.
9. Good. Next, you lay back, chest press.
It's taking longer than I thought.
Yeah.
Is it?
15 reps.
It's lightweight, man.
2. All right then. 3.
Lightweight.
3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 10. 9. 8. 7. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. 30 seconds, so we go right back into it again.
It looks pretty easy, but by the end of round 3, I was dripping in sweat.
7, 8, 9, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job.
Pain Fitness.
Whew.
After 4 long rounds of all that, I had finally come to the end of my workout. But not before Ryan substitute the 30 jumping jacks with burpees.
10, 5 more. 1. 2. Come back, all the way back. Good. 3. 4, last one. And 5. Good job. Wasn't that bad. Ryan Payne Fitness is about helping people reach their goals, whether it be health-wise, body goal-wise, basically to help create a better lifestyle for them.
And Ryan is a testament of a better lifestyle. Believe it or not, he was once overweight.
I was about 260, and I reached a point in my life where the weight, it was too much. I had to sit on the bench to tie my shoes. I couldn't bend down and tie my laces. And I had to, something had to be done for my health-wise. So I got into fitness and I started working out. I got different trainers, and then I realized that I was good at it, and I got my certification and started helping people reach the same goals. But I know what it was to be big.
How could someone find Ryan Payne?
Ryan Payne Fitness, you can find me on Instagram, Ryan Payne Fitness. You can find me on Facebook, Snapchat, all the social media, Ryan Payne Fitness. Just look me up.
From Fit February for Our News, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Still to come on our news, why the PLP deputy leader says a sin tax for NHI may be a burden. Stay tuned.